Okay, so let's take a look at how you can use Datastax AstraDB. So basically, AstraDB is based on Apache Cassandra, right? So we sign up to Datastax. You can search on Google for Datastax, and you will be getting this website, right? Once you go through all of this, you can click on sign in or try for free. Both of these options would allow you to register. So clicking on that should show you the register page, right? So here you have to enter your first name, last name, then work email. So if you have your own domain name, that also qualifies for work email, right? If you have like Google email or GitHub, you can also use that. But from what I have seen, a lot of typical email addresses won't be accepted, but it should do with Gmail and GitHub, right? So once you register, you can get the dashboard that looks something like this. This is the old UI. So in near future, a new user interface will be applicable, right? So what we can do here is we can enable the new UI. It will redirect us to that part, right? So I'm going to wait for it to load that dashboard. Compared to the old one, this is pretty simple to use, right? So we can use escape or this close option, right? Now here you see you have sidebar that shows database and streaming section, right? We are not going to use streaming for now, so database is our only part we have to look for. Then there is billing settings, and you have other tools options, right? Now here you have quick access to create database, create stream, and add your team, right? So if you are trying to set up your AstraDB, the best thing you can do is click on databases, right? And here you can check out option create database, right? Then once you create database, you will have to create the key space as well. And once you have those two things ready, you are good to go with your setup of data, right? There is one more option. If you are trying to upload and the free plan limit is not something you can go with, you can increase your quota or you can upgrade your plan, okay? Either one of that should work, right? Make sure to check the billing, considering if you plan on increasing the quota, then adding the billing option would be a good option, right? So here in payment method, you can add your credit card. That should work. Then you have user management, you can keep on adding users. Then you have role option, then your typical token management, considering token is how you choose the role, like admin, organization admin, billing, database, UI, then admin service, then read write accounts and API accounts. So read write and API, they can be handy whenever you want to work with your database, right? So we have managed to set up the free plan. Next, we don't have to work about these security settings, because in old database this was pretty common, but now that we are using the token management, all we have to worry about is token and not keys and encryption and so, right? So once we are done with this, we can go to say setting, and then here we also covered the billing and settings. Next, let's go back to home, right? Now here you can see you have multiple options. You can check out the AstraDB guide, then you can check the AstraDB command line interface, and how you can use languages like Python to connect to AstraDB. These are some of the things that you have here. So what we will do is we will start from creating the database. Right now here I will have to give it a name. Right, so let's assume that if I give it some name like DevNami DB, I can also give it DevNami key, right? And considering I am doing this for demo purpose, I'll be removing all the what you can call API keys and client IDs etc. later, so I don't have to worry about hiding anything right now. Okay, now we have like selection of provider and region. So here let's say I have option of cloud, GCP, then AWS, then Microsoft Azure. So we will have to pick area, so you can pick any that is suitable for you. So let's say if I choose Asia Pacific, right, and here the locked one will require you to choose the premium plan. So if you pick something which is not locked, right, you can go with that. Right, you have option with GCP here, then you have Amazon here, right? So we have all of the Amazon locked for Asia. Then for Azure we have like pretty much everything locked, so we are left with GCP. Okay, we have like one open for each region, so we will choose the US region, right? And once we choose that, we are free to create the database. Now you have free plan, right? So you can't really request any additional region, right? So if you want to request, you can click on here, but if you have upgraded plan or so, you can go and request as you like. Also this particular lock will be removed for most of the upgraded plans, right? So you will be free to choose anything you want. So now that we have selected database name, key space name, you can go to the free plan, create database option. So click on this button, it should start your database naming process. Right, I have picked the simple database name and key space name so that it is easy for me to remember. Okay, once we have our database created, it will tell you that database created, you just created a database. Now it will do the setup for your keys, right? It will also show you the live progress, right? Your database name, key space, then provider, which is Google Cloud, and the region, right? So we have to wait till it generates a token and then gives us a green light. Okay, you can also skip all of this, just directly go to database or dashboard. Either one of that would work, right? Now comes two important parts. One is accessing your database. So let's assume that you are creating a application here and you want to access AstraDB content through use of, let's say, driver and API, right? So you will be needing these secure token details. In order to view them, you will have to click on show token, right? You can also download token details, because once you leave this screen, often it won't let you view this and you will have to regenerate new token in order to use it in your app. Then you have get started option, so you can click on get instructions, right? So let's assume that you are new to Astra. You will get option to connect to database, connect your database to existing application, then running the sample apps, loading the data, securing your data, and other things, right? So click done. Now let's come back here. You have your database name, key space for that database, then cloud provider and region. If you click on go to database, you will be presented with options for what to do with that, right? Now here you see your read write requests, your quota and data transfer is listed here, right? Then there is a region below. We are using Google Cloud, so that details is also written here, right? Then you have key spaces at the bottom, right? Then in next tab you have health for this database, how the health is for current state of your database that you just created. So currently there are no requests, so it should be fine, right? So you can view that using this graph now option. Then this connect option, so it will let you connect through various methods. So API, drivers, SDK, integration. So you have Rust, Go, Node.js and Java ready, right? Then you can choose cloud or native. So native would require you to download those drivers locally and then you can connect with it, or you can use cloud. Then you will have to just think of your tokens and keys in order to make connection. You have API options. You can choose document API, then GraphQL and REST, right? There is also SDK. So if you are starting from scratch and building everything around Astra, then you will be using tokens and all the required details for connecting to your Astra DB. Now the method that I wish to use is console. SQL console is like your typical shell, right? So it will allow you to perform operation on that particular database. So as you can see here, you will be able to do your commands, right? And then create further entries, work with your key space, and also you will be able to view your data, right? All of that through this SQL console. Then there is CDC option, right? So here you can see change data capture. So we are not going to look at it at the start, right? Then finally settings. If you wish to configure a region or any other details, you can make use of these endpoints, right? Then there is IP access list. So that is also one more option. Finally, terminate databases option, when you want to literally get rid of everything that you have just created with while using this account, right? So this is what you would be doing. So I hope that you get the idea how to get started with AstraDB and how to set up your database.